Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. How's that? I had it turned down. So like we can hear each other. So I got this headphone booster, which is amazing because it used to be like you'd be talking and you couldn't hear each other in these sort of rounds when it's crowd, and now like you can just crank it up. So if you can't hear enough fallback, you can just go bang like that. Yeah, just crank it up. You want to test the other listening? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good afternoon, good evening, welcome, hello. Look at that new grandstand, isn't it great? This is testing out with Jordan. Thumbs up, yep. All right, cool. Well, we might be able to take out the mics. Behind the goals. So let's see how we go. All right, I'll be back in a second.
It's a matchup that requires no additional hype. Second and third go head-to-head in Melbourne Southeast. A combined total winning streak of 11 between them. 5 on the bounce for Chris Taylor's Oakleigh and 6 for John Anastasiadis' Heidelberg. And we're going to pause here to observe a moment's silence. Impeccably observed minute silence from players and officials out there in the centre of Jack Edwards. Oakleigh Cannons, we see Joe Knowles, who was subbed out around the half-time interval last Friday at Paisley Park against the Magic, doesn't appear in the matchday squad today, and Alex Salmon comes in to lead the line, replacing Adam Djurardovic. So Nick Feely in goal. The defence of Hampson, Tratt, Hall and Boyce. The central midfield duo is Sinclair and Strong. In front of them, on the flanks, it's Matthew Dench and Asad Kasumovic who starts. Joe Guest, the prolific goal scorer and assist number 10 of the competition. Alex Salmon in front of them. No changes for John Anastasiadis' side. Yaron Souza resuming in goal. It's Fletcher Fulton operating as the left back. The central defensive duo, Ryan Lethlean and the captain, Ben Collins. The goal-scoring right back, Jamal Ali. In the midfield, it's Anthony Lesiotis, Moe Dara and Asahi Yokokawa. Max Pacetto and Sebet Noor on the flanks. And up front, it's the raging bull, Bull Duarch. Our man in the middle tonight is Ross Clark, and he's about to get us underway here in this round 12 match. NPL Victoria, 12 degrees out here in Melbourne Southeast. Looking forward to bringing this one. That's Heidelberg are going to kick us off. They're playing to the northern end, or the Edward Street end of the venue here. Oakleigh in their home kits, all blue, playing to the railway end, the left of screen. And there's an early header by Hampson and a touch for Dench. My name's Steve Curtin and looking forward to bringing you all the action, and it's my absolute pleasure to welcome into the commentary position tonight Lockie Aville. Good evening.
Good evening, Steve. Yeah, good to be with you. What a cracker of a match we got lined up tonight. Two sides that have been, obviously in very good form the last month and a half between the 5 and the 6 game undefeated runs. So two teams that are really going to want to, make their mark on the top end of the ladder in this competition, and it's going to be a great game, I'm sure.
Well, absolutely no doubt about that. It was a shame to see Joe Knowles miss out on this one. He's been so good this season since coming back across the Nullarbor to where he played so well a couple of years ago before his stint in the A-League with the Brisbane Roar, and then returning back to his home state WA and playing for that star-studded Olympic Kingsway side. And it's a Dower in the middle early, and Lesiotis in the pink boots. He's tackled by Hampson. Salmon trying to play the ball in for Asad Kasumovic, who's no doubt keen to impress, getting the start today. But Fulton, who's known for playing as a winger, is enjoying getting some appearances in the starting 11 as the left back. It's been a bit of a difficult position for John Anastasiadis. Dalibor Markovic has started there. Haven't really found a regular starter, and Fletcher Fulton, the Tasmanian, has put his hand up. And here he is on the ball there in front of the new grandstand. It's progressed a little bit since the last match here. You can see the glass panels have gone in. So hopefully we'll see the seats will be in there soon. And, well, perhaps, Lockie, next time we're here, we'll be calling from up there. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yeah, I was walking down the road, just a little peek over the fence just to see if things were ready in time. Not tonight, but that's okay. We've got a lovely vantage point up here in the terrace. And, as you know, we're moving forward, yeah.
Well, it's Bassetto out wide left, trying to create something here for Bourgeois, turning left and turning right, and eventually had his pocket pick. The intensity is up so far in this one. Here's Ryan Lethlean. Hope you're enjoying this one wherever you're tuning in Melbourne, interstate, overseas. Huge audience for Friday night football. One of two 8:15 matches. We've also got another one happening down the road at Port Melbourne. Port Melbourne hosting the Altona Magic. A real 6-pointer at that one as well. But this one is another 6-pointer at the right end of the table where you want to be. And, well, whoever wins this match tonight, if there is a winner, will be top of the ladder tonight ahead of Avondale after Avondale's disappointing performance last week. Belted by 3-1 by a red-hot Heidelberg side, racing to a 3-0 lead before half-time. And, well, they'll get a chance to redeem themselves tomorrow against South Melbourne, who, well, they can't buy a win at the moment, and they'll be desperate as they head to Avenger Park for that one. And with a couple of key players out in attack and defence for Avondale, you just never know what could happen in that one.
No, you don't, right? South Melbourne, obviously, they haven't had the best of times to start this campaign, but they're one of those sides, you know, we look at their form last year. We're in the running for the treble in the state competitions for a little while there, so they obviously got a lot of quality in that team. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting game. Just settling into kind of the pattern of play here, quite a frantic 60 seconds ball going up and back a little bit, but as we know from John Anastasiadis' side, he's going to be wanting to hold a little bit of the ball, and that's what Heidelberg did for the first few minutes there. But moving back and forth, good start.
Yeah, we touched on it in the intro. What a match it was when these sides met last season, going all the way down to the wire on the 28th of August at the home of the Matildas. That was an Oakleigh home game out there, much closer to Heidelberg's venue though, and Jordan Hall getting on the score sheet on 55 minutes, and then it was Sean Ellis in the 88th minute stepping up from the spot. It was a game that we saw Joe Guest miss a penalty kick in the first half, which is not something you see every day. He's normally someone that you can count on 10 times out of 10 to tuck the ball away in any situation, especially from 12 yards. The man who's scored 8 goals and 7 assists so far this season. But yeah, it was the Oakleigh Cannons going on to win on penalties that one 4-1 after Collins and Pinn missed their spot kicks in the shootout. And the Cannons didn't miss a beat. Here's Guest combining with Sammons. A nice little ball for Asad Kasimovic, who could pull the trigger here. His shot was straight at Yaron Souza. He just needed to direct that to the left-hand side of the goal, and he would have been potentially wheeling away in celebration there, Lockie.
Yeah, really nice ball from Alex Salmon there, recognising that the defence was slightly out of position. Asad Kasimovic with lots of space to run on the right wing, but just the finish couldn't get it done.
You can see the quality that Alex Salmon has coming on off the bench last week, and what a well-taken goal he scored to seal that game. Gave them a 2-0 lead and are able to hang on despite conceding one late on Anzac Day. Jamal Ali giving chase. Will we see him getting on the score sheet? Again, what a season Jamal Ali is having. 5 goals so far in NPL Victoria from right back. He's a constant threat with those runs that he makes, and a lot of opponents just unable to pick him up.
More than a goal every 2 games for a defender. That goes quite handy.
Giants trying to get on the ball, but it was well intercepted by Hall. But Sevet Nors picked it up here in a pocket of space. He might pull the trigger on the left peg. We've seen him score from these sorts of positions before. And that one's over the temporary construction buildings there behind Nick Feely's goal and out onto Edward Street.
Fascinating story, Sabit Ngor. Obviously had a really good season in NPL last year. Got his move up to the Central Coast Mariners, and then all of a sudden he's debuting for the club in the Asian Champions League Elite. Quite a step up for him, and obviously he hasn't got the minutes he probably wanted at the Mariners during the A-League season. So to come back here on loan, back where it's a familiar environment for him, and hopefully he gets a little bit of that confidence back.
And how good is it, Lockie, as well, that we can see these loan systems to give players more minutes that they may be getting frozen out at an A-League squad, and also they can put bums on seats here back in Melbourne as well. It's a flick on by Joach, but he wasn't on the same page as his teammates. There was no one making a run in behind. Asahi Yokokawa was the likely suspect. It's well read by the skipper in Ben Collins. It's Kingsley Sinclair. It's a heavier touch by Guest, and well read by Lesiotis, who's another one of these form players in the Heidelberg side. But really, it's hard to pick out a player who's not in form, really. There's so much talent, so much precision and perfection so far that we've seen Johnny A's side. 6 wins on the bounce and 7 in all competitions if you count the cup as well. Really impressive stuff so far. We had that 2-0 win against St Albans at Churchill Reserve in the round 4 of the cup competition, while it was a 3-0 win for Oakleigh Cannons at Jubilee Park against Ringwood City. Heidelberg will be in action in the cup this Tuesday night as well, so it'll be a quick turnaround when they play East Brighton United, who sit in 3rd in State League 1 South East at the moment, so they might not be pushovers. Jamal Ali always looking to play forward. Well read by Hampson. Started the season under a bit of an injury cloud, and he's really come in and made that left back spot his own again, as he has done for the last couple of years at Jack Edwards Reserve. Some of those players available to Chris Taylor off the bench tonight. Pierce Waring, Cam McGill, good to see him back involved in the action. Adam Djuradovic as well, the young striker, Ajak Dayu. I believe he turns 24 today as well, if transfer mark data is right. Lockie Hart, the sub-keeper, and Harry Arneson as well. You can hear the youngsters behind the goal at the left of your screen.
Getting enthusiastic about a ball-playing goalkeeper.
I like it. I like to see, they've been brought up well. Here's Bassetto against his old side, playing it in, well-read Tratt, clearing it into the grandstand. Oh, it almost clears the fence. He'd probably be disappointed as a Dower sort of defender that he didn't actually put that one over the grandstand, Lockie.
That wasn't quite the no doubt. You need a few extra metres over the fence.
Absolutely. Here's Bassetto. Tratt only yards in front of his keeper. He gestures to Feely about whose ball that might have been. Was there a name put on it?
And that move came from a lot of patient build-up play there from Heidelberg. I expect we'll see a fair bit of that.
Well, no doubt about that. We'll run through the Heidelberg subs in a moment. It's headed by Boyce. This is Kasumovic with the socks down on the far side. Showed too much of it to Fulton again. Yeah, Johnny A available off the bench tonight for him. Dalibor Markovic, Johnny Apostolopoulos, Chock Dow, Jay McGowan, Peter Claassen, and the sub-keeper, Ryan Govan.
Really letting the game flow here early on, Ross Clark. A few little 50-50s where the whistle probably could have been gone, but it's been tucked away so far.
And they were having a very serious conversation when we went in to get the team sheets before this one, and no doubt that these officials had taken the opportunity to officiate such a big match very seriously, as Ben Collins puts that one out of play. We've got Jackson Landy and Didak Lee, the assistant referees, and Bailey Panuto is the 4th official. Sebit Noor, quick changes of pace one way then the other, almost a little bit too quick for his teammate Lesiotis. It's a good first-time pass from Bourgeois. Well read by Tratt. And we do hear the referee's whistle. So the first foul of the game, if I'm right there, Lockie. It wasn't. Certainly wasn't a brutal one. And well, Oakleigh will be happy. They can take some time to clear their lines here.
Yeah, had to do a quick little double take there, Jacob Track. Wasn't sure how fast the ball was. Had to be aware of the pace of Juashi behind him as well.
Straight up the field by Feely. It's a good header by Dench. It's well read by Lethlean. And Bassetto's got a good pocket of space here. As we've seen, they're keen to bring the ball out to this grandstand side. And Sebit Noor's lining up. Here's Adara. Silky skills from him, as we come to expect from the veteran midfielder. He still moves like an 18-year-old at times out there, does Mo Adara, despite being in his mid-30s.
Getting a lot of joy out of these combinations with him, Ali, and Ngora already on the right-hand side as well.
And keep an eye on to see some more interchanging of positions and how the Oakleigh defence managed to handle those situations. He's might go into the book here, you fancy. professional foul on Connor Hampson. And there's a really strong crowd of young Oakleigh fans, as we said. They're making a lot of noise behind that goal to the left of your screen. You can see them there on your live stream on YouTube tonight. We've got Jordan behind the camera. Definitely one of the best in the business, giving you the best look at the action, and it's a great atmosphere here tonight. You can see the Suvalaki smoke engulfing the pitch. Fragrances to make anyone feel hungry, as Joe Guest, who's been hungry for goals and assists this season, as we said, looking to float this one into the back post area. Jacob Tratt, a likely target, trying to make the run in behind that line of yellow shirts who congregate on the edge of the 18-yard box. So it's all about the quality from Guest here. In it comes, it's low. It's Kasumovic. I'm not sure if it was meant for Kasumovic, and his header was well off target.
Not a bad ball to the near post, sorry, if that was his intended target. But yeah, just a little bit behind Kasumovic. Have to crank your neck a little bit to try and get that one on target. Not quite that time.
And impressive neck muscles needed there for Asad Kasumovic, the young South Australian winger. And maybe Jacob Tratt was the decoy at the back post there. They do score a lot of goals from set pieces to the Oakleigh Cannons.
Good to zig when everyone else is zagging.
That's right. He's Guest. Sinclair, the winger come central midfielder this season. This is Dench. Playing it out in front of Guest, who looks second favourite to get there, but he made the ground ahead of Collins. And Guest in a good bit of space here. Looks to supply the cross. Now Dench. Good combinations here, and Guest can get there on his left peg, right on the byline, and Jamal Ali would not be beaten.
He looks second favourite to get there, Joe Guest. A good lung-busting run, and he's earned his team the corner here.
It's those short steps you fancy. Jamal Ali, much a longer stride, but they finished in pretty much a dead heat there on the byline, and the first corner of the game for the Cannons. It's going to be the outswinger from Joe Guest. And it comes. It's headed away by left lean. Strong's header. Campbell Strong, the New Zealander, getting a start in midfield, as he did last week. It's a free header for Jamal Ali, but he had no allies there, and he's turned over possession, and it almost broke for Asad Kasumovic. Hampson's good early ball in, causing a bit of havoc in the Heidelberg penalty area there, Lockie.
Yeah, taking the opportunity brilliant there. Whipping the ball to the far post. There's probably a couple of options that could have ended up on the end of it. And we know they like to play well in transition. They're very good at it, Oakleigh. And that was one of those moments.
So almost 15 minutes gone here. Deadlocked at 0-0. Third placed Oakleigh versus second placed Heidelberg United. NPL Victoria, round 12. Almost got to the halfway point. We'll have played everyone as of next week. Hall. Going all the way back is Boyce. A touch for Feely. As we've seen, he's playing direct again, and Dench is going to capitalise on a mistake here from the Heidelberg defence, who hesitated, but they hesitated for good reason, because Dench was offside.
They've done well, Oakleigh, just in these last few minutes. Really trapped Heidelberg in the back third of the pitch. Although, as I say, they're breaking forward.
Ali gaining metres here. Sebatnor now. Noedara looking to try and work the angles here. Lesiotis, Yokokawa's first time ball for Buljuart. The crowd was ready to celebrate. The shot was off target, and the flag was up for offside as well. So no harm done as far as Oakleigh are concerned on the scoreboard, but Connor Hampson is down holding his face here, and we hope that he's going to be okay to continue. The trainer is coming out to check on his welfare, so we're going to have a bit of a break in play here after an intense opening 16 minutes at Jack Edwards Reserve in this match, where the winner, as we said, will sit atop of the table at least tonight.
If there is a winner.
That's right, the way they're going, these defences, not showing too many frailties. As we've seen, excellent defensive records for for these sides so far this season. Heidelberg only conceding 12, and the Cannons only conceding 9. Best defence in the competition.
And of course, it's that goal scoring record that is keeping Heidelberg above Oakleigh on the table at the moment. Tight on points, tight on goal difference as well. Very fine margins, all between these top 4 teams. It's
not often that you see them this close. It really is throw a blanket over them territory, these teams at the top of the table. And Connor Hampson looks like he's going to be okay to continue there as he signals to Ross Clark, hey, I'd like to come back on, thanks. Salmon flicking this ball on. Didn't really want to have a Connor Hampson-sized hole in the left back roll, allowing Sebert Noor to go motoring forward. So Hampson is back out there now. So we said if you miss it, Heidelberg, no change from the side that raced to a 3-0 lead against the league leaders Avondale last week. Eventually getting over the line 3-1, and Basetto's giving chase, but even the fleet-footed winger there not able to reel in that through ball from Fletcher Fulton. Just how much of a loss do you think Joe Knowles is? He's been in such good form this season so far, Lockie, and Chris Taylor must be really disappointed not to have him have his services out there tonight in such a big game.
Well, yeah, it's massive, isn't it? 5 goals in the season so far for him. He's been our most prolific player. As soon as you get a team's top goal scorer and take him out of the 11, you're going to find it difficult, aren't you?
Good press here from the Cannons, and they win the ball back. Floated in towards Joe Guest. Appeals for a handball, but it will be a corner kick. It's another opportunity this time for Joe Guest to supply the in-swinger. And try and put some more pressure up on this Heidelberg defence. It's been end-to-end so far. Heidelberg have maybe shaded a little bit more of the possession, but must be very close in almost every stat so far in the opening 19 minutes of this one. It's a low ball by Guest. It's a bit wasteful, and Left Lean's able to clear that one without breaking a sweat.
Yeah, the hand up in apology straight away from Joe on the far side of the field. They're just those ones. You just got to beat the first man, don't you? That's what everyone says. That's what every coach is telling you. Just beat the first man.
I like that he's owned it there, and I like your analysis of that one too, Lockie. Spot on, I think. Switching the play here is Tratt, and Hampton's in a bit of space. Salmon back to goal. Dent stepping inside. Well positioned there was Lesiotis. Drew Archer's giving chase. And Sebert Noor. Those two riding shotgun with one another. It's red hot out there. A great night for football, and such a good crowd in. A good atmosphere at Jack Edwards Reserve, and a nice touch by Ali, and it's going to be a foul by Alex Salmon as we belatedly hear the muffled whistle of Ross Clark there. That's a bit louder that time. Not taken from the correct blade of grass. We'll get him to move it forward a little bit here. Or is it still rolling maybe? Yeah, we can't have the ball still rolling.
A little bit in, a little bit in.
The latest of a series of direct balls into the corner there. Yokokawa making the run beyond Bulger Arch to try and reel that one in, but again, just a little bit too much on it. There's not a breath of wind here tonight, so players certainly can't make that excuse that the ball's being blown towards one end or the other. The pitch is just in fantastic condition. We were praising the surface out at Green Gully Reserve that had just been re-sown. We saw last Friday. This looks almost as good as that as well. Excellent conditions for the players to play some good possession-based football, and well, we've seen that tonight, and we've seen plenty of intensity as well. Here's Buljuarch. Kingsley Sinclair trying to keep them at bay as they head down into the corner. Hampson gets some distance on that one, and did the ball go out of play there? Cross the touchline and come back in again?
I think if you're Heidelberg, you really got to be aware of these midfield transitions. They're getting their fullbacks really high up the field, and they're getting really nice overloads in midfield areas, but Oakleigh are getting very good at shutting them down into that area. So if they can find a way to progress the ball into the middle half of the field and then shift it to the open space, I think they'll find a lot of numbers there.
I've got no doubt that might have been on the tactics board in the team talk beforehand. Here's Duarte. If it will just break for him, he could be in here for an opportunity. And it's Asad Kasumovic, the right winger, getting back doing the defensive duties.
11 defenders on the field.
That's right. Well, you can tell that they've been told to get men behind the ball when they need to, and it doesn't matter if you're in the front three. The back defending in your own 6-yard box just in open play scenarios like that. And Chris Taylor will be impressed with what he's seen there from the South Aussie. Sevet Noor, and that wasn't his best touch that he's had this season. Such an exciting player. Scored that incredible goal in the elimination final against Hume City last season that came from so far out. It just took everyone by surprise at the venue. I feel like Oakleigh just keen to take some seconds off the clock here and control the tempo a little bit, Lockie, it seems.
Especially, they've just kind of worked their way back into control of this game in the last 5 minutes. It's really come to and fro in kind of patches like that, hasn't it, in this open 22, 23 minutes. Both teams have had their little moments on top, and just when you have those moments and you are on top, you want to try and keep it there for as long as you can.
Absolutely, a matter of taking those moments. It's a finals-like atmosphere, if that's possible, in May here, with the hush of the crowd, waiting for that moment where someone can draw first blood in this one.
There is a lot of tension, isn't it? It's just kind of sitting there. Obviously, these both teams, as we said, can't be separated even on goal difference on the ladder, and the fans know it as well.
And you fancy the longer it stays at 0-0, the tension is just going to go up and up over the course of the evening here. That one's out of play.
And perhaps a few more whistles than we heard in the opening 20 minutes as well.
Fancy the tackles will start flying in for sure as we head towards 25 minutes into this one. 0-0 if you have joined us. Steve Curtin and Lockie Aville keeping an eye on this round 12 NPL Victoria men's clash. Here's Bourgeois trying to get the ball under control. He does well enough. Here's Sevet Noor looking to switch the play. Fulton making the overlapping run. Controls it first touch with his head. Basetto. Kingsley Sinclair read it best, but there was no one staying up in the attack for the outlet ball there from Sinclair, and he's only succeeded in giving it back to Heidelberg, and this navy blue defensive block is going to have to keep getting dragged from one side of the pitch to the other.
And they're okay with that, aren't they? They know they're comfortable in this position. If they want to sit off a little bit and have Heidelberg passing the ball around the back, then they know how to deal with that.
That's right, and no doubt Chris Taylor's thinking that perhaps Ryan Lethlean or Ben Collins have got a mistake in them at some point in this game, and they're probably happy to gamble that the likes of Salmon and Guest can capitalise on that when it comes.
Exactly, and then it's all about just taking your moment. And when you got someone like Joe Guest, who's leading the league, I believe, by some distance in terms of goal contributions, goals and assists, then why not? If you can be efficient in front of goal with a player like him, then it's always a pretty good help.
A whopping 15, if that is correct. It's always difficult to gauge the assists definitely.
That is true.
This is nice football from Heidelberg. Feely playing a little bit of sweeper. Keeper a long, long way from home. Well, that was a good flowing move. Taking the ball from right to left, diagonally up the pitch. First time passing. And the fans here, well, that have come in, they're getting full value for money at the moment.
And you can see the way Heidelberg are setting up here on the ball with the passing around the back. Fullbacks up the field, centre-back split very wide with the goalkeeper in the middle. If there is a turnover in here for Oakleigh, there is plenty of opportunity.
Exactly as you said that, Lockie. Jamal Ali making really good position, advancing up the flank and then tucking inside. His first touch let him down, though, after he found a great pocket of space. But no harm done as Heidelberg is still in possession through Lesiotis. And making some yards here is Fletcher Fulton in a little bit of space in front of the grandstand construction zone. He's got Yukikawa providing the option to go back. Now Lesiotis, and it's a good defensive shape again from the Cannons, pushing Heidelberg all the way back to Yaron Souza, who's some 40 yards out of his goal as he receives the ball from Ryan Lefleen. And you can see the interchange of positions with Leslie Otis popping up there in the pink boots at left back.
And Jamal Ali, the notional right back, in the centre circle, right in the middle.
It's a little bit of almost a bit of like Corey Sewell fullback play under Ben Kahn at the Knights, stepping into those midfield areas to be an extra player in there. This Guest looking to turn and face forward. He's trying to play it through to Dench, but again, Jamal Ali, I said he's been good going forward, but he's been just as good in defence. Alex Salmon really putting it all on the line there to slide in and try and put off Yaron Souza. Oh, there's a chance here for Bassetto. It's broken from the header from Hall, and this is going to be Max Bassetto. And he's hit it straight at Nicholas Feely. Oh, he would have seen his name up in lights, scoring against his club from last season. And now it's going to pinball up to the other end of the park, and using all of his penalty area there was Yaron Souza. Well, what an opening that was for Max Bassetto.
We were talking about Heidelberg passing around the back and having to make sure they were very confident in defence, and it was an Oakleigh error at the back that allowed that opportunity to fall in behind. We just had a couple of those moments now sneaking into the game. Neither team able to capitalise on their opportunities yet, but there are chances coming.
Yokokawa's header is got some feedback for his captain Ben Collins about the direction of that pass that came his way. Might have been saying, I prefer it to feet.
Yeah, he wasn't happy, was he?
He's strong. We're looking for a good performance. Campbell strong, and Cameron McGill back on the bench looking to return to the side. There's still no Holmes in the matchday squad who did score the penalty to clinch the win in the shootout in the Australia Cup between these two sides last August. That's a silky touch from Salmon, trying to combine with Guest, who was trying to play the ball in for Dench. And again, plenty of yellow shirts back to close down the passing channels. And, well, the Burgers are definitely enjoying the bulk of possession here. They're trying to break down this block of navy blue shirts. Collins. Kasumovic. Showed too much of it to Mo Adara. I haven't called his name as much as usual, Adara. He might have been well held fancy so far in this one by the Cannons midfield. Well, no mistake this time by Jordan Hall. That was really good bit of defending, and he's distributed the ball upfield to Asad Kasumovic, who's been the judge to have given away the infringement. No, in fact, it was Brody Boyce over there as he readjusts his headband. That makes it easy to identify him.
Headband, pink pair of boots always makes things easier.
No complaints from us. Maybe some complaints from the traditionalists. There's Jamal Ali. He's motoring forward. A good low cross. It sits up for Duarte. His shot was blocked. Leslie Otis, he can hit them from these sorts of areas. But again, desperate defending from the Cannons, throwing bodies at the ball there. And again, that desperation will impress Chris Taylor.
And back-to-back right in a row from Jordan Hall as well. Two really desperate efforts of defending to keep his side with a donut on the score sheet.
Well, on a perfect night for football, that's been a perfect night for the defences so far. Goalless after 30 minutes. NPL Victoria Friday night football coming your way from Jack Edwards Reserve in Oakleigh tonight. Steve Curtin and Lockie Aville with you for this one. We hope you've enjoyed it so far, and well, it promises to offer so much in the next hour of football to come. Trapp's almost sold a bit short there, and he's turned it over here. Jamal Ali's direct ball forward to Sevet Noor. Good defending again to Hampson, who's been one of Oakleigh's real prime movers so far in this match at left back.
Up and down the field as well. He's had a couple of balls into the box in attacking areas, but he can do it both ways, can't he? Some solid defensive efforts.
They like to get those early balls into the box, and he's often that free player who's got the time to supply across, maybe from a deeper position, but Oh, he's such a telling crosser of the ball. Is Hampson. Can be a goal threat as well, as we've seen from set pieces in previous seasons. That's a good touch by Campbell Strong, the Kiwi, and moving out wide is Brodie Boyce, receiving from Hall. He's got Kasumovic ahead of him, but he wasn't happy with the option, so he decided to come back and switch the play right to left here.
Just a tiny bit slow in transition there, Oakleigh. They had just the back four left to go if they could get the ball out to the wide areas quick enough. Just going to move a little quicker around that side and take advantage of that opportunity.
He's in position now. Kasumovic, he gets the early ball in. It really beats everyone. Flashes across the goal face. And in the end, it's easy for Sousa to mop up, but there might have been almost a minor heart palpitation there for the Heidelberg defence as they saw that one flashing past potentially outstretched boots of Salmon and Guest, two of the absolute apex predators in the competition in NPL Victorian football.
I think Chris Taylor will be quite impressed with that. He'll be encouraged because the midfield from Heidelberg are getting very aggressive in their press when they're moving higher up the field. So he knows that if they can play out and move the ball into space, there is going to be plenty of free air.
There's Ali again, getting high up the park. Yes, he's going to play this one through to Salmon, and the flag goes up. Sousa out well off his line in any case, but a warning threat there for the Heidelberg defence. Again, the Cannons quick and direct when they turn the ball over, looking to play the ball into Guest. And then Salmon making those runs off the shoulder of the last man.
And it's clear to see the relationship that those two players have with each other, isn't it? I mean, whenever Joe is coming deep and picking up the ball in midfield areas, you can see that's his first look every time. Where's Alex? Can we get him in behind? Can we get him in front of goal?
You almost wonder if when Alex Salmon made the move from Green Gully Reserve, if maybe Joe Guest was on the phone or there was a little bit of collaboration about the recruitment. The link is almost telepathic, as we saw last week. Really good through ball, a good early through ball out at Paisley Park after winning the ball back and setting up Salmon for a great finish in that one to make it 2 on that occasion. And then shot from Sebit Noor, just testing out Nick Feely at his near post. A regulation save, but nonetheless an attempt on goal for the Burgers. That'll encourage the Warriors fans that are gathered here tonight.
Probably the first time we could say he really got the better of Connor Hampson in a one-on-one as well.
It's been such a good duel so far, that one, Lockie. Really enjoying watching those two go head-to-head, and it's really a matter of who blinks first from two top players at this level. Oakleigh trying to conjure up something out on that right-hand side. It's a nice turn from Yokokawa. Look at the skill from the Japanese midfielder here. And he goes to the ground, and Jordan Hall's been adjudged to have committed the foul. It's been a long time between drinks in this fixture for Heidelberg United. They haven't won against the Oakleigh Cannons in 7 meetings. Their last win was on spot kicks in the elimination final in August 2022 after the match finished 3-3 in extra time. A thrilling 3-1 penalty win here at Jack Edwards Reserve for Heidelberg in an instant classic of a match in the opening week of the finals in 2022. But their last win, disregarding the penalty victory, it was earlier that season as well in normal time, a 3-2 win on the Queen's Birthday Monday holiday, when it was still called the Queen's Birthday Monday holiday back in 2022, with goals from Shepherd, Pin and Alice. Too much for Oakleigh's goals from Guest and Aaron Williams in that one on the 13th of June 2022. So, yeah, long time between drinks, but they're looking good tonight, the Burgers, and with that added loss, or the added bonus perhaps for the Burgers of no Joe Knowles out there for the Cannons. They look quite confident in their ability here to make it 7 wins in the league on the bounce. At the moment, 10 minutes till half time. Still a deadlock here. This is Bassetto. Lesiotis. Collins out wide again. Jamal Ali in space. He likes to play inboard. Sebit Noor. He does like to shoot from these areas. And it's an absolute cleat rocket into those trees behind the goal at the Edwards Street end. And Nick Feely, well, no work to do. Untroubled by the high and wide attempt.
Yeah, still trying to find his rage a bit in Gore. But you're right, he's not afraid to take it on, isn't he? He's had 2 or 3, from a good 5 or 10 yards outside the box.
That's why we really, I think as fans, we really enjoy watching those inverted wingers that play on the right, but nominally left-footed, and you can just see when they get the ball, they're always looking to unleash. Not quite Iron Robin, maybe his own style, but you get the picture. Lesiotis' header, and then Basetto flew highest. A real bit of aerial pinball here. See who can get their name on the ball, but it's out of play on the far side in front of the grandstand. As we said, it's got the glass panels have gone in, so it's progressing along. It's going to be a fantastic facility when it's ready. Looking forward to calling some games from up there in the future, that's for sure. Here's Collins in space. It's Ali who's tucking inside, making the underlapping runs, if you like, inside Sebetnor's position. This is Lesiotis. Out wide is Fulton. Yokokawa, Lesiotis. Good little combinations here. Basetto, you can see the idea, but so could the Cannons' defence, and they picked it off well.
But straight back, I think that ball has to be better. You know the central defenders are going to be packed in that central area. A wide ball with the attacking fullbacks is where it goes.
There's another test for Feely, but he's able to come out and claim that one fairly easily. He celebrates his 33rd birthday this time next week. He's the former Perth Glory shot stopper who's been a mainstay here for so long at Jack Edwards Reserve. Here he is on the ball again in the all-red goalkeeping kit, playing long this time, trying to ask some questions of the Burgers defence. It was headed away by Collins, but only as far as Dench, and they've picked up possession here. Salmon, Sinclair, now Strong. So it's the Burgers' turn to sit behind the ball and absorb a little bit of pressure here. They've been enjoying the bulk possession in the last 10 or 15 minutes. That's fair to say. Here's Sinclair.
And you can see the strategy of patience is coming when they're on the ball as well. Just little probing balls into the midfield. How far can they draw Heidelberg forward while they've got their front three sitting on the shoulder of the defenders as well?
Yeah, real cat and mass out there in the first half. Well, it's a big challenge. We haven't seen too many agricultural challenges there, but Brodie Boyce coming in from right back to make his presence felt.
And escape from the scene of the crime very quickly as well.
He didn't want to risk going into the referee's notebook. Ross Clark overseeing this one. He's done a great job as well so far in this one, Ross Clark, you have to say. You've hardly noticed him out there, and that's usually a hallmark of quality refereeing.
And we noted in the first 10 or 15 minutes letting a few maybe free kicks go, but I think it's a little bit of empathy coming through, understanding that this is a big game and the players, it means a lot to them.
There's a bit of space for Basetto, trying to get to the byline, and, well, Hall again, he's been so busy back there as well, making the challenges. Seems like he's got that role of being the interceptor and leaving Tratt to be the player who maybe sweeps behind to pick up the loose ball. As we hear Nick Feely through our effects mic here, just organising the troops in the penalty area. So it will be the in-swinger. The targets are all at the back post area. Feely comes and claims well. Good positive goalkeeping from Nick Feely. Oh, and he's unleashed an absolute rainmaker there. Under it was Fulton, who didn't back away, won the header.
That's good keeping from Nick Feely on the corner there, especially when you can see that the opposition has a clear plan against you. Take responsibility on yourself. If no one else is going to do it, go out there, be strong, claim the ball for yourself.
Inside the last 5 minutes of the first half. Defence is winning out here in this match that both teams desperate to win, but no one really wants to lose either. Sinclair draws a crowd. Heidelberg win the ball back. Plenty of navy blue shirts behind the ball, though. Well played by Tratt, only as far as Lesiotis. Nice switch of play, perfectly picking out Basetto. He's got 2 blocks of 4 to play through here, though. Ali. Dara. So often he's been the key to unlock the defence for Heidelberg United. He gets the early ball in, across the face of the goal. There was no one there in a yellow shirt. Well, Boyce stuck a leg out to try and almost backheel it away, and it's out of play for a Burgers throw over on the far side.
And off the back of 2 midfield transfers as well, they noticed the spaces on the far side, moving it around a little bit more higher up the field, not having to go all the way around this Oakleigh defence.
The Burgers just needed someone in at the back post there to apply the finish. It was a good ball from Adara. Salmon with that much support. So again, it's going to be more play in the final third here for the Burgers in the latter stages of the first half. Mentioned Connor Hampson's game. He's had a habit of scoring in this match too. Scored in this fixture in 2 of their last 3 meetings. Both of them last year in the league encounters. And he'd be delighted to get himself on the score sheet tonight. And, well, Chris Taylor would be delighted to see Oakleigh score a goal before half-time, because they've been doing a lot of defending in the last 20 minutes or so here.
And this is one of those games where you see a goal either way will completely shift how the game is played in the second half. Obviously, Oakleigh have been very patient. Heidelberg obviously on the ball patient as well, really just trying to wait for the perfect opportunity. As soon as the goal comes, that attitude changes.
That's when the stakes are so high, and you can see it, as you mentioned earlier, Lockie, you can really feel the tension all around the ground. There's not too many matches in this competition where you can feel the tension around all parts of the venue here. That's a good ball for Fulton. Early ball in, Yokokawa. Ali! Waiting for the net to bulge for Jamal Ali. Found himself on about the penalty spot, side footing from 12 yards. And he can't believe he hasn't scored there, to be fair, Jamal Ali. Good move down the left by the Burgers, and Jamal Ali coming so close.
Just opened the body slightly, didn't he? A little bit too much. Ball comes in across the face, just kind of stabbing the right foot at it, and it goes past the right post.
And the thing there for young players who are watching on from home is getting the timing of your run right there, and I feel like Jamal Ali absolutely nailed that there. Just arriving in the box with almost devastating effect. What a moment that could have been if he could have broken the deadlock right before the half-time break. We are in the last minute of regulation time in the first 45 as we await the 4th official, Bailey Panuto, to indicate how much time will be added. Probably not too much. There was the slight injury delay to Connor Hampson. It will be 2 minutes. Ball into the box. Oh, it almost broke for Kasumovic. A nervous moment for Fulton, but he's able to bring the ball away and combine with Basetto. Yokokawa's touch. Basetto won't get there.
And when we talk about how Heidelberg are building up with the ball at the back and committing a lot of number forwards, that's how you get to the phase where you have players like Jamal Ali in the box, you know, kind of making that run. If you have that many numbers forward of the ball, it's very hard not to have someone arriving at the right time.
It's been such a feature of their games in the recent weeks. There's so many numbers getting into the box, particularly when you've got that good front three, the midfield three as well, members of them getting in, and then you've got fullbacks like Ali getting in there as well. Often 4 and 5 players in the box. Maybe not getting as many numbers committed forward tonight with what's at stake as we've seen in some of the other games of late. But they've been such good value this season. Even in their last match, what they went down, which was 7 games ago, prior to their 6-game winning streak, there's always a foul here. It's on the edge of the box. It's right on the edge of the box, mind you. Guest is asking the question. So he's brought down.
Some consultation with the linesman over on the far side as well, who is in a good position.
Difficult to see the chalk from here, but it must have been very, very close to a spot kick there. And it's just those little moments that we've been talking about that, for all of Heidelberg's effort in possession and trying to create opportunities, that we could have seen a Joe Guest spot kick there, but we're still going to see an opportunity from a very, very good position, and you're going to hear Yaron Souza organising his wall here.
There's almost some clay court tennis-like appeals for the divots in the grass that were slightly inside the penalty box. Not to be, though, it's a free kick. Right on the edge of the area, but it's kind of that angle where you're not too afraid about the distance. Sometimes if it's central, it's hard to get it up and over the wall. You're not going to quite have that problem here. You might have some trouble getting it around 2 walls, though.
Not often you see 2 walls. This is not something I've seen too often. Well, it's going to be Salmon with the direct route you fancy. Yaron Souza, I guess he knows what he's doing here. You fancy, but Salmon's going to try and put this in the pigeonhole. It's Salmon, and it's well held by Souza. And, well, innovative football in NPL Victoria. Perhaps there's managers around the world in Europe and South America who are taking note of this. Yaron Souza with 2 walls.
We had a perfect angle for that, didn't we? And everyone else at home as well. Straight through the middle. Fascinating. I guess if you're that wary of the free kick taker, 2 walls, 1 for each post. Not a bad idea.
Fancy Salmon might have been hoping to put it in that top left corner there, but unable to do so. And Souza, I suppose as well, I'm not a goalkeeper, but he gave himself a very good look at it as well. There was certainly no issue with the wall blocking the view of the shot from the free kick from Salmon. So an interesting way to end a first 45. It's been tight. It's been hotly contested by the Heidelberg the spectators here. They're not waiting for their democracy sausage tomorrow. They're heading for a souvlaki in the canteen. We're going to take a short break here. Lockie Aville and myself, Steve Curtin. We're looking forward to bringing you all the action in the second 45. We look forward to your company. Go and put the kettle on. It's going to be an absolute rip snorter, this second 45 of this match. And we don't need to mention again, but we will. Whoever can win this will be top of NPL Victoria tonight. The stakes are that high in round 12 of the competition. We'll be back after this short break. Looking forward to your company on the NPL Victoria live stream. Welcome back to Jack Edwards Reserve. Players back out on the park for the second 45. Nothing to split these teams. Chris Taylor's Oakleigh Cannons and John Anastasiadis' Heidelberg United in the first half. We're deadlocked at 0-0. NPL Victoria Friday Night Football coming your way on the NPL Victoria live stream on YouTube. Steve Curtin and Lockie Aville here to watch the second 45 of this one, and we hope you enjoy it as much as we've enjoyed this first 45 so far. And welcome back to the broadcast position. Lockie, how do we see this one going in the second half, and who can break the game open?
I think good decision from both coaches. I don't believe there have been any changes made at half-time. I think, as we said, towards the back end of that first half, this game, if there is a goal, will change fundamentally, and you need to save your substitutes to impact the match in that state of play rather than the one we're sitting in now. So, same as we were, I think, as we see Heidelberg moving forward here.
There's definitely neither side wanting to be caught cold coming out of the change rooms on a reasonably cool night, but still pleasant conditions. Around 11 degrees here in Melbourne's southeast for the start of the second half here. Left leans ball forward into the channel in front of Fulton. Inside is Yokokawa. Strong got a foot in. Guess sliding in. It's committed players out there for both sides. Kasumovic. Ross Clark sounds his whistle. So, as he mentioned, Lockie, no change to the starting 11s from the first half. Feely in goal for the Cannons. Hampson, Track, Hall and Boyce in defence. In midfield, Sinclair, Strong and Guest. Out wide on the flanks, Dench and Kasumovic. Salmon leading the line. And for the Burgers, Souza with defensive Fulton. Left lane, Collins, Ali, Lesiotis, Aidara, Yokokawa in midfield. And it's a chance here on the overlap. It's Dench. Well read there, Collins. The captain getting it away. There's Guest trying to weave his way through. Here's Campbell Strong in a good pocket of space. Oh, it's a peculiar pass, but he's going to pick out one of Kasumovic or Boyce. This is Asad Kasumovic running at this block of yellow shirts. Ball in by Boyce. Guest was there. Well repelled by Lesiotis, and now Fulton's going to come away with the football. He's got Bassetto in support. Max Bassetto beats one. Goes to ground. Good tackle by Strong, and Oakleigh in possession here and enjoying having the football after they had to go for long periods in the back end of that first half without the ball. Fulton's head up, picked up by Strong. And it's out of play off Lesiotis. So again, the Cannons can get further up the park here again.
There was a good cross in there just before from Brody Boyce down the right. It's been a little bit of a theme of this Oakleigh team so far in this game. The deliveries from wide areas, both from dead ball situations and in general play, haven't quite been up to par. So we've been talking about it the whole game. If you want to take your opportunities, the first phase is just to get the ball in the box in a good area.
Well, here's Hampson threatening to get the early ball in again, but he decided against it, and well, it didn't do him any favours because Sevet Noor was able to steal in and nick the ball and win a free kick for the Burgers. So all of this early second half momentum for the Cannons is broken, and it's now Heidelberg's turn to just control the tempo a little bit here. So we're just confirming again that lineup of players, Heidelberg for the second 45. They gone unchanged. The same 11 that started last week in that 3-1 win against Avondale. Here's left lean. Yeah, that front three for John Anastasiadis, Bassetto, Sevet Noor and Buljuarch with Saki Yokokawa in that number 10 role. Plenty of potency there, but at the moment they're pegged back in their own half doing their defensive work here. Here's Guest.
Lots of pressure straight out of the gate from Oakleigh here in the second half. They're doing well, putting them back.
This is exactly what Chris Taylor was hoping for from the halftime team talk. Wasn't hoping for that pass, though, as it runs out of play. It almost went to his outstretched right foot there. Chris Taylor in the technical area, not showing too much emotion, as we've come accustomed to. Up the field by Fulton. He wants the free kick for the late challenge, but it's going to be a Heidelberg throw nonetheless, and they can advance up into the Oakleigh half for the first time in a couple of minutes. I think Bassetto might have stolen a bit of territory there.
Just as that throw-in was being decided, Alex Salmon was continuing to discuss with the assistant referee down this near touchline here about a potential free kick down this corner. He's cut a frustrated figure at times during this game, with the referees a little bit, with also his own players as well. He's not quite happy with how he's getting the ball up top.
Well played, Fulton. Fully committed there, the Tasmanian. So it's the Cannons with the Lions share of possession in the opening 5 minutes of the second half. Fulton's header picks out Lesiotis really well. Lesiotis in a tight space, pressure from Salmon and Guest. Smacked up the field by Souza. Strong header by Tratt, made that one his. Bounce a bit awkwardly for Kasumovic, but he had space and time to wait for it to bounce a second time. Boyce. Now Kasumovic, can he float in the ball to the back post area? It's too close to Souza, and we've got a Heidelberg player down on the turf.
Yeah, Yokokawa just feeling a little bit sore after that one-on-one duel, the aerial duel, the long ball in.
Ben Collins has gone down too. They're going down like 9 pins here, the Heidelberg players, in the opening minutes of this second 45.
Straight away after the impact, you could see him reaching behind to the small of his back. Clearly just a little point in there. I can't imagine it would feel too nice with those boys coming in, crashing behind you.
You're quite close to the action here, and you can feel the solid contact from up here in the stand as the players collide in the centre of Jack Edwards' reserve, and the Heidelberg subs are warming up now, so we'll mention those players that are available to John Anastasiadis. Dalibor Markovic, Johnny Apostolopoulos, Chock Dow, Jay McGowan and Peter Klaassen. The outfield options. Yokokawa just feeling the ribs there, feeling the side.
Hasn't been as involved in the game as he would have wanted so far. He's struggled to get the ball in clear space and be able to turn and move forwards. He's just not quite having a good night.
Probably haven't given him a lot of praise during the first 45, but Campbell Strong and Kingsley Sinclair in there really controlling that area. They might not have done a lot of the prettier things out there, but their positioning has made it hard for, I think, as you mentioned, Yokokawa, Moe Dara, those sort of players that do the damage to unlock the opposition defences. Haven't had the space and time to operate in, but as the game goes on, we'll just see how that plays out. It's a good touch by Sebit Noor, and overlapping is Jamal Ali. Not the first time we've seen that this season. Here's a chance for Buljuach, cutting it back. Following it up was Ali. It's blocked on the goal line. Ali shakes his fist in frustration that he hasn't scored there, but the attack's going to keep coming here. Sebit Noor, one way then the other, top of the box, Lesiotis, he might pull the trigger here. Anthony Lesiotis, that was deflected. A sea of bodies on the edge of the penalty area. Nick Feely shouting and berating his defence. Guess looking to turn defence into attack.
That's great football from Heidelberg there, breaking at pace in behind, the numbers in behind. A little bit of a deception, I couldn't quite make out who it was, but just the option not to hit the ball when it's sitting at your feet, just to let it go because you know your mate's in a better position behind you.
So many players getting forward, it makes it hard to ID who's who, but some good work on the edge of the area, definitely, as you mentioned, Lockie, and those overlaps down the right-hand side it's a real handful for even a top-quality left-back like Connor Hampson to handle when he's being caught 2v1 against Sebit Noor and someone coming through like a steam train in the shape of Jamal Ali to overlap past Sebit Noor.
Just to recap slightly as well, I think you're spot on to highlight the effects of Kingsley Sinclair and Campbell Strong in midfield for Oakleigh. Not often that we do give a lot of praises to those kind of defensive midfield number 6 types, but they've commanded this game exceptionally well in the first 50-odd minutes.
And we do see Cam McGilp sitting on the bench as we saw last week as well, so another option in central midfield returning if one of those two boys is to tire during the second 45. Now to play for a Burgers throw there. We can go around the grounds in NPL Victoria because there's a couple of other games going on in the early stages of the first half at JL Murphy. Early, we call it a mid-season relegation 6-pointer. It's 2-2 it was Altona Magic racing to a 2-0 lead with Frangie and Al Hawley, but McCloskey and Liston Diaz, I believe that's his first goal in his new club colours there at the Sharks. He started the season under a bit of an injury cloud. He's got himself on the score sheet there, and it's a happy BT Connor reserve at the moment. Romero and Albano opening the scoring in the first half. And Amir Abdullah on the score sheet for Gully as Preston lead Green Gully 2-1. So plenty of exciting football going on here, but we're loving what we're seeing here. Two fully committed teams. The ball comes into the box and getting back. That's Jamal Ali. Who else doing the defensive work after he was the last player to fire a shot on target up the other end of the park? He just covers so much territory, does Jamal Ali. He's been a fascinating player to watch in NPL Victoria for some years now, and we've seen him playing as a central defender as well. And it's funny, he had that stint at Altona Magic as a central defender, and he would make those forward runs as if he were a fullback then. So going out to right back now, it's like he just has even more license, and boy does he use it well to get forward, and it must put a smile on the face of the Heidelberg fans here.
Yeah, license is the word, isn't it? He's clearly allowed to move into those midfield areas and express himself in the middle of the park, and he clearly loves the ability to do that and impact the game forward of that defensive line as well.
Here's Kasumovic having his shirt tugged by Basetto. Ross Clark thinks about producing the yellow card here. We've only seen one so far this evening that was shown to Sebet Noor in the very early phases of play.
Good strength from Kasumovic. He's been out-muscled at times tonight, but really getting strong on the ball, holding up the play, earning a free kick is good.
He really wants to make an impact on this game, getting the chance to come in due to Joe Knowles being unavailable after being subbed out half-time last Friday, out at Paisley Park in the win over the Magic. Here's Dench at full stretch, and they've coughed up possession here. Adara, and again they look to go down the right wing, but it was well read by Sinclair, who got into the passing lane and allowed the Cannons to win the ball back. Lesiotis for Sebet Noor. Will we see John Anastasiadis go to his bench soon, perhaps? You fancy that would be more likely to happen before we see CT, Chris Taylor, make any changes, but stranger things have happened.
He does have that reputation, doesn't he, Chris Taylor? Doesn't like to use all of his substitutions too often. But the advantage of that is that you get to adapt to what the opposition does, right? You get to make the second move, see what they do when they have limited options, and make your choice then.
It's a good pass by Yokokawa, picking out Bourgeois, across the face of the goal, well held. Feeling he had to claim that. There was a couple of burgers queuing up to tap it home in Basetto, and Sebet Noor had that one been parried.
And that's wasteful there from Oakleigh. They just had a lot of pressure piled on them. The release goes early out to Joe Guest, and the ball is a really nothing one in the end, over the top to Jan Souza.
Lesiotis picking up the ball between the lines. It's a real test of the first touch of Sebet Noor. He's controlled it so well, and he's going to try his luck again, stepping inside onto his left foot, but it's easily blocked by Sinclair, and it's an easy turnover, really. Ali's able to get his head in the way of that switch of play. These sides counter-punching at each other.
You wouldn't want to give Sebet Ngor too many more chances from that kind of range. I know he's only really had one kind of on target from the 4 or 5 attempts, but when you start to get that many looks from the same kind of area, you do start to find your range. So they've got to be careful of not allowing him too many chances with free air.
He's only scored just the 2 goals in the league so far this season, but you wonder if he's going to rip the competition apart and score 5 or 6 in a short period of time at some point, such as his shooting prowess. Sebet Noor. He did score 1 in the cup win as well. against St Albans. And here's a chance for Kasumovic. Salmon's in the middle. It's Salmon's outstretched boot, and he's not able to reach the football. It's a good cross from Kasumovic, and the opportunity hasn't died out yet. Hampson. All hands to the pump here for the Burgers. Guest. The cross is deflected. Oh, it's an awkward one. Flags up on the near side, and that will be the reprieve that the Burgers needed.
Yeah, Alex Salmon can have no complaints with the quality of the delivery there. Asad Kasumovic taking advantage of the slight error. Fulton slips over in the left back position, and suddenly there's space in behind. That's probably one of Oakleigh's best chances of the game.
Here's Campbell strong. Boyce, the black-booted defender, tries to lob it over the top of Fulton. It's away by Lethlean. Such a tall presence in the centre of defence. Ryan Lethlean, the big Queenslander.
How good has Kasumovic been to start this half? He wasn't quite probably as much of a factor as he would have wanted in the first 45, but this 15 minutes after the break, he's been Oakleigh's main route to goal down this right wing.
He's still got plenty of improvement ahead of him. Still only 19 years of age, aside Kasumovic, so looking to build on confidence and goal contributions. As it comes in, it's well away by Collins. And Ben Collins. Good distance on the header, and it almost eventuated in a counter-attack. If it wasn't for the intervention of Boyce coming all the way across from right back.
I think if you're Johnny A, you are starting to think about those changes now. Obviously, Oakleigh have come out, definitely had the better of the first 15 minutes in this half. Who's going to come on? Who's going to make an impact?
Here's Lesiotis, bit of space to pick his pass. Lethlean. Yokikawa, nice first touch. Lesiotis, good combinations here. The pass has a little bit too much on it for Basetto. Threatening though, they're just threatening to unlock the defence with those little first-time passes in the centre of the park. This Heidelberg midfield three. Aidara and Lesiotis and Yokikawa.
Yeah, not a bad ball from Lesiotis. He's playing an interesting role in this game, being that one pivot in midfield.
Oh, here's the chance. Sinclair gets the shot away, but it's a harmless one.
Yeah, Lesiotis being that central pivot in midfield, especially how far wide the centre backs of Heidelberg are splitting, he has a responsibility to play a really good pass and not give it away.
That was the first touch by Basetto. Reeled it in like he had magnets on his bootlaces there, and it was Brody Boyce going to ground. Free kick going the way of the Cannons, and a little bit unlucky there, Basetto. It was such a good first touch, and he just got caught on the wrong side of his opponent, I suppose. Free header in the end by Collins. Sinclair over the top, only as far as Ali. Sinclair's picked up the loose ball. Sinclair getting more and more involved in this one. Had that opportunity a few moments ago as well. Ali, Nor, Lesiotis, they're just about able to clear their lines here. It's a real scrap in the middle of the park. Who's going to come away with the ball here? It's Sevet Nor. He's got Basetto ahead of him. He's got Boyce to beat. What a duel this is. Basetto really got a good piece of that one. Did Max Basetto, and forcing a fine save out of Nick Feely. Great moment there for Heidelberg. Sevet Nor floats it across to the back post area. There's no one at home. A disappointing cross in the end.
Really good save there, Nick Feely, especially one of these games where there hasn't been too many shots in anger that the goalkeepers have had much trouble with dealing with, and all of a sudden Max Pacetta comes in. A very, very hard shot, bit of a cannon off the foot there. Just to feel it on the hands, bump it away strong. Nice little confidence booster for him.
.65 minutes gone here at Jack Edwards Reserve. Friday night football, NPL Victoria, round 12 of the competition. And these sides, nothing separates them. We have to go down to goals for to separate them in the league table into second place Burgers and third place Oakleigh. And nothing separates them tonight here as well so far. Neither manager has gone to the subs bench as yet. Can't be long to go until we see some changes out there. Good combination here on the far side. Collins with the block, and well, they're scrambling a little bit here, the Burgers, but they're going to get it away. Ali and Collins combined, but they've given the ball straight back to the Cannons. Decent touch, Bourgeois. Second touch is a little bit too heavy, though. Showed too much of it to Jacob Tratt, who will enjoy those sort of opportunities to slide in all day, especially on this pristine surface with a little bit of dew on top as well now as the temperature drops here.
We talked about that tension. It continues to build. The crowd has increased since we kicked off a little bit over an hour ago.
I think people have come in here at half-time for a free entry, Lockie, perhaps.
Not a bad tactic. Love some free local football, especially at the quality that we're seeing tonight.
Couple more goals around the grounds. Liston Diaz has scored again for Port Melbourne. They lead Altona Magic now 3-2 after trailing by 2 goals early, and Preston have scored again. They now lead Green Gully 3-1. So Preston really looking to solidify their spot in the top 6 and keep Green Gully at bay. Green Gully challenging for a spot in there after a couple of recent wins.
So Port Melbourne are such a fascinating side. 2 wins on the year, one of them to Preston Lions. Never know what you're going to get.
Look at Fulton here motoring forward, sliding in with Sinclair. Ross Clark says it was all ball and it's going to be a corner kick. That was close. Fine margins there in that tackle. Sinclair had to get it right.
Yeah, correct decision. That's a great tackle from Sinclair. It's high risk, high reward. Slides in, clearly plays the ball first. That's what you need your defenders to do in the moments where it matters most.
Well, we've given him some praise in the first half, but Ross Clark out there, man in the middle, doing a sterling job in this high-stakes match as we await the corner kick to come in. Nick Feely organising his troops in there. It's in by Yokokawa. It's a deep one. Collins' header. It's punched away. Pacetto. His left lean is in there. Collins, the auxiliary winger here for a moment, the centre-back, and, well, he's played a touch there like he is a centre-back, that's for sure.
And you can see there the value of, setting up all your attacking plays in a set-piece situation on the far post. The ball comes over Nick Feely's head. He has to turn around. He doesn't quite know where everyone is. And you create that little bit of chaos. The second ball comes in. The defenders, they have to turn their head. They're not quite sure where everything is. Just opens up that little door of opportunity.
Well, it looks like the display book is coming out in the Heidelberg technical area, and we will see the first change, possibly the next stoppage in play. Good duel here between Salmon and Collins. Could watch those two battle it out all day. 2 top players in this competition. Here's Dench, a little bit of space, a little bit of green grass in front of him, but mowing him down from behind there. Sevet Nor chewing up the grass ahead of him. Here's Strong. And the Cannons can switch from left to right here. This is Boyce, Kasumovic screaming for the ball. He gets an early cross in, and yes! A devastating cross from Kasumovic. Getting the start coming in from Joe Knowles, and he repays the faith to Chris Taylor as he supplies the ball for Joe Guest to fire home from close range. What a finish, what a cross, and what a moment for the home side. Oakleigh Cannons take the lead It's his 9th goal of the season for Joe Guest. And big games, big players step up and separate these sides, Lockie.
Well, that's just capped off a brilliant start to this second half for Asad Kazumovic out on the right wing for Oakleigh Cannons. Just a devastating run and a pinpoint ball in to score the opener in what has been an incredibly tense match. And now it sets up an enthralling final 20 minutes.
Well, it's the Oakleigh Cannons that have had the wood over the Burgers in recent meetings. And they had to go all the way to spot kicks to separate these sides when they last met in August, and they've got their noses in front now on 69 minutes, and we will now see that first change. And does it change the complexion of the substitution that John Anastasiadis was planning to make, thinking it would be at 0-0, and it is now a change happening at 1-0 down, and the opportunity is presenting itself for Jay McGowan, a 24-year-old midfielder from the Sutherland Sharks in New South Wales, and it's the end of the shift for Sebit Noor, who cuts a frustrated figure as he heads off the park, Lockie.
I guess Johnny A not quite sharing my enthusiasm that the 6th or 7th shot from range over in that pocket might have been a little bit closer to the target, so he'll take his leave.
Oh, here he is on the far side here, McGowan. Another player easy to pick out in the long sleeves and the headband, even though he is over the far side of the pitch. Guester's pass is a little bit too heavy. So the Burgers with it all to do now. Haven't won this fixture since 2022. And they trail here again. And a reminder that they're unbeaten in 6 league games, 7 in all competitions. So this would be their first defeat for some time since they were defeated 3-2 against the Thunder at George Andrews in a thriller back in March.
And now the game changes. That's a hard-earned goal for Oakleigh. They sit with the lead. And the onus is now on Heidelberg to make something happen. Oakleigh have looked very comfortable in defence for most of this fixture so far. And Heidelberg, they have to push the issue. Something has to give if they want to get back into this match.
It's a decent ball by Tratt. Dench kept it in play and wins the throw, so...
Not the first time Alex Salmon has been in conversation with the referee so far tonight.
They seem to be having a running battle as well off the ball with Ben Collins. Every time the ball's up in the air, those two are like a real old-school number 9 and central defender jostling all the time. But Collins wins this time, gets the boot in. Combines with Adara, who's being kicked while he's down here, Mo Adara, but he's seen the free kick go against him for shooting the ball while he was down on all fours. So Joe Guest, big game player, doesn't mind a goal against. Now it's a close moment there again. Hearts in mouths for Heidelberg. You can see the opportunity to get a result here racing away, evaporating almost in that moment after they'd only gone down 1-0 a few moments ago. But here they are trying to get in the front foot again through Fulton. Lesiotis, good combination between those two. Bassetto, will he come back out onto his right peg? He goes across on the left. Oh, it's saved off the line from Yokokawa's shot, but it's turned in. And the Burgers level just when it looked like they were in a little bit of trouble. McGowan on the spot.
Yeah, you're spot on. They looked a little bit unsettled coming back into the game after that opening goal from Oakleigh. But you move down the other end of the field, you get it in the penalty box. And as they say, anything can happen. It was an extraordinary block off the line initially for the Oakleigh defender. But Heidelberg were not to be denied. Now this game is back even with parity, 1-1.
Jay McGowan, his first goal since linking up with John Anastasiadis at Heidelberg United. What a moment as well to level things up. Staring down the barrel. And they'd only just had a nervy moment in their own 6-yard box. Took the ball from one end to the other. Yokokawa said unlucky not to score himself. Some desperate defending from the Oakleigh defence to clear it off the line. Didn't quite capture which player it was, but It kept the Burgers at bay for a moment, but it was only momentary.
Well, just as we were about to talk about how this game was shifting and the different strategies that Heidelberg were going to have to shift up to get back in the match, all of a sudden we're back where we were. There's still only just the one change in the game. Things are as they were.
Well, Fulton and Lesiotis, those two players were key to the build-up down the left-hand side and the inside left channel, and Fulton's won the free kick here again. As he hobbles away from the scene of the crime, Kasumovic is going to stand on the 10-yard mark here. Yokokawa looks like he wants to float it into the box. Ben Collins is forward at the back post, as is Ryan Lethlean. Yokokawa, Heidelberg swinging the momentum their way now. Collins and Tratt. It's a disputed ball and in the face contact for Connor Hampson, who Fancy really felt that one, and not for the first time. He's holding his face in this match, and Collins is going to go in the book here. It's a yellow card for that infringement.
Fascinating. Heidelberg are clearly very worried. You know, we've been talking about it all night, but the transitional capability of Oakleigh, not committing too many numbers forward on that set piece. Maybe it's just a factor that the set piece is a little bit deeper than like the corners we've seen so far in this game, with a bit more of a rehearsed routine. But they don't want to lose this game, and of course we're in the last 15 minutes now. If you lose one here, it's extremely difficult to come back.
This second half is flying by so quickly. I hope you're enjoying it wherever you're tuning in. NPL Victoria live stream. Steve Curtin and Lockie Aville with you tonight. We've certainly enjoyed lapping up every minute of this hotly contested match as these sides battle for 3 points that would see them go to the top of the tree tonight if someone's good enough to find a winner here. Souza out wide for Fulton. He's going to need to be using all of his height to bring that one in. It's out for a throw. Well, it was only 4 minutes that Oakleigh led this game for after that Joe Guest goal. Incredible. It seemed like almost a little longer than that, but well, Heidelberg, they struck at the best possible time, really. Didn't allow themselves to get bogged down. Johnny A will feel like it's a masterstroke that it was his substitute that came on and provided the telling touch.
And whether that was the substitute that was playing before the goal went in or not, it's just funny how things can change, right? Even in those few minutes after Oakleigh scored, they were looking the team that was more likely to then go on and score a second, but Heidelberg just found a way.
So 1-1 here. Guest with the goal for the Cannons. McGowan with the goal for Heidelberg. He's first in the yellow and black. Here's Salmon. A little back heel, but there was no one there except for Jamal Ali. Up the field by the goal scorer McGowan, looking for Yokokawa, who was almost the would-be goal scorer in the same phase of play. Like there was a release of tension in the venue here after Joe Guest opened the scoring. The tension is coming back and building again now that it's 1-1, you feel, Lockie.
Straight away. Yep, straight away. We've talked about the importance of this match and what it means to both teams.
Yokokawa's through ball, looking for Juarch. It was well read by Hall, but McGowan's going to keep the attack going here. Away again by Hall. Racking up, making the clearances back there. Oh, it's not a decisive one by Sinclair, but it won't matter. They can keep possession here. Dench playing forward. Lesiotis. Down the line is McGowan. He's got Yokokawa in support. He steps inside. Guess header is straight to Fletcher Fulton. Left lean, can step past Kasumovic. Fulton. In behind is the pass for Bassetto. It's a good one. Bassetto goes to ground. What's the decision going to be? The Burgers get the spot kick and the chance to hit the lead for the first time tonight. Good creative face of play down the left-hand side. Oakleigh don't like it. But Ross Clark was in, no doubt.
Yeah, that's a big call, very tight as well. He just gets in front of his marker. There is contact. It's a tough decision, I'm not sure, Steve.
It's a hard call from that angle. Might need to go to a second camera angle there for that one, Lockie, to get a definitive view. The yellow card is out for Brodie Boyce, who's pleading his case. He can't believe his luck. The opportunity is here, and the ball is in the hands of the Raging Bull. Bourgeois facing off with Nick Feely. Ross Clark doing his paperwork for the yellow card. And there's plenty of noise coming from behind the goal here to try and put off Bourgeois as he takes on Nick Feely for 12 yards to take the lead in this match and go top of NPL Victoria on the live ladder. From the boot of Bourgeois, who fires truly. And the Burgers, in a matter of minutes, have turned this game around. Bourgeois with the most emphatic penalty. And the travelling fans, don't they love it?
Yeah, good pen. Really hard. High up, very hard for Nick Feely. Maybe not quite in the top corner, but with that kind of pace on it, the goalkeeper was always going to struggle just to get a hand to it, but also to keep it out. The tide turns again.
Well, it was a penalty of a player who's high on confidence from the Heidelberg United number 9. Scores his 9th of the season. What a season he's having, by the way. And there's almost a bit of a hush from the home fans here now as they're getting ready to celebrate a massive win after taking the lead on 70 minutes through Joe Guest. And we're now on into the 82nd minute. Oakleigh find themselves trailing to Heidelberg United. And could this be Heidelberg's first win against the Cannons since 2022?
Well, the fans are a bit shell-shocked, aren't they? I mean, this was such a tense game. Oakleigh worked so hard to score that opening goal. Again, looked good in the few minutes afterwards, but a little bit of moment of chaos. And then a penalty right after gives Heidelberg the lead, and this game is flipped on its head again.
Here comes Joach again, the most recent goal scorer. He's got Vassetto available. Sinclair with the solid challenge. Vassetto kept his feet. And the Cannons have got the goal kick, and Feely is going to take this one fairly quickly.
Yeah, you can't afford to drop your head here if you're a Cannon. You've had the better of the second half. You've had the opportunities, but still you find yourself down on the scoreboard. But these final 10 minutes, it always means more. One little goal, less time to do something about it if you're the opposition. And it's still a one-goal game. I know it probably feels worse than that if you're a player out there at the moment, but it's still just one goal.
They certainly had the momentum going their way in the lead up to that goal, that ball in from Kasumovic to Guest to open the scoring. Maybe weren't far away from getting a second only moments later, and how the momentum swings can happen at this level of football. And after the first half, which was a little bit of a slow burn, it's really come to life in the second 45 of this game. And we really hope you are enjoying this one on the NPL Victoria live stream, wherever you may be tuning in tonight. We've been thoroughly entertained here in person. I'm sure you have been equally entertained from home as well, as this ball's coming into the back post. Simon looking for the flick on. He's strong. Kasumovic, can he supply another talon cross? Goes on to his non-preferred side. And it's in by Boyce. At the back post is Dench. Dench is going to be forced to go all the way back here. Will we see Chris Taylor make his first change of the match shortly here?
It's an interesting one. Obviously, the impact has to happen. And we were talking a little bit about Sinclair and Strong in midfield for Oakleigh before. It's clear that Chris Taylor really values that partnership as well. You think about the amount of long balls that they've been playing throughout this game, and you've got a front three who don't quite really have the height that you'd normally see throwing that many long balls in. So they really trust their midfield to be able to win those second balls and launch attacks from there.
Absolutely. As we see Adara just desperate defending again to stop the run of Connor Hampson, and another chance here from the corner kick. Joe Guest to supply a quality ball in. Oh, he slips as he takes it. The flick on was by Dench. Heidelberg were equal to the moment, able to defend it well.
Hasn't quite made the most of those corners, Joe Guest, has he?
No, he'll be kicking himself that he's lost his footing in the process of that one. Look at Tratt here stepping up to put some pressure on these Heidelberg players. Does that create some space in behind, perhaps? Oh, it's a sliced one from Lesiotis, but it might still sit up well here for McGowan. McGowan and Hampson going toe-to-toe in the corner.
Yeah, probably didn't climb off quite as he would have liked Lesiotis, but that's the right idea. Into that path of space on the opposite side of the field. That's where they're going to find joy.
Well, here you go. The man who doesn't make too many changes. Don't let your eyes deceive you here. It's a triple change. It's going to be Waring, McGilp, and also Juratovic coming on. Kasumovic's shift is done. So is that of Strong, and looks like Sinclair as well. So there you see it, a collector's item there, a triple sub from Chris Taylor, and, well, if ever there was a time that called for it, that's probably now.
Yeah, we've got 4.5 minutes plus injury time left in this one. It's not a lot of time to make an impact, but when you're coming on with 3 fresh players, fresh leg against tired defenders in a massive, massive game, this is a chance.
Well, Bassetto, who played a telling contribution to the Burgers turning this around, his shift is done and he's going to be replaced by Choctaw.
I don't know if I've seen a triple substitution happen so much quicker than a single substitution.
I don't know how all the players got prepared to get out there on the park so quickly. It's very impressive. Luckily, a fourth official, Bailey Panuto, wasn't tasked with putting all those numbers up on the board. He would have needed half a dozen. Here he goes. He's running through those now. He could be going up until the 90 minutes here. Confirming those subs for us. So what can the fresh legs offer here? Sinclair.
Another example of winning that second ball back in midfield.
It's Pierce Waring out on the far side. It's combining with Hampson out there. This is Hall. I think Jacob Tratt wants to go off and become an auxiliary striker as well here. You fancy the bearded central defender.
That'd be the kitchen sink.
Here he's in possession here in the red boots, playing it out to the left-hand side. Good pocket of space here for Sinclair. Hampson assessing the options. Tries to float it into Salmon. Sinclair, good block, Collins. It's a shoot-on-sight policy for some of these Oakleigh players now. This is Adam Juratovic, who started as the number 9 last week at Paisley Park.
And that's all it might take in this match. One little moment of deception, of slight interplay to open up just a little bit of space.
Juratovic's ball in. They were queuing up around by the penalty spot, and what a strike from Hampson. He absolutely leathered that one, and it's disappeared in the players' race, I fancy there, Lockie.
That was not far away at all, and with a ton of power.
Just sat up so well, so invitingly. Heidelberg try and take some time off the clock here. We've played just over 88 minutes. They can almost reach out and touch it, the Burgers. I'll celebrate this long and hard, you fancy, tonight if they're able to get over the line here.
Absolutely. The length of the streak, the pain of the Doherty Cup final in 2023, the Australia Cup penalty shootout last year. Been a long time coming.
Tratt's header. This is Pierce Waring in the long sleeves. Haven't seen too much of him out there in the middle for the Cannons in the last season or two. Hall. Now Boyce. That's really good pressure from Choctaw, closing him down, forcing them to go all the way back to Feely. players returning from an offside position won't be able to compete for the header, and left lane won it nice and easily as a result. We are into the last minute of regulation time here. We will await Bailey Panuto, our fourth official, with the board to see how much time Heidelberg will have to hang on. They want to get the 3 points and climb themselves to the pinnacle of NPL Victoria tonight.
A lot of urgency in the Oakleigh play now. They sense it.
Plenty of men forward in the front line. Gerardovic, Salmon, Waring, Connor Hampson's staying very high up the park areas in possession. So you see at 5 minutes is the added time as Sousa comes to claim that there was already a whistle on play for a foul by Salmon on Collins.
Yeah, and that frustration is building inside Alex Salmon all night. The goal would have felt so good, but to be in that state of mind and then have to deal with this 2-goal comeback from Heidelberg as well, that's where that free kick comes from. He's just willing his team to get over the line here, and he's just fallen a little bit short.
It's just going to take some more time off the clock as Sousa was the collateral damage in the aerial duel. So we are eating into that 5 minutes of added time at the end of the 90. Sousa's going to go in the book here for time wasting. That's an easy decision for Ross Clark to make. So no doubt we will get at least an extra minute added on to make it probably 6 minutes that the Burgers are going to have to hang on to this lead. And they're going to make another change here, just to ice the clock a little bit as well. Assistant coach Savas Patinkas is submitting the paperwork.
I don't quite know how Sousa thought he was going to get away with that. He's quite literally rolled the ball 30 metres away from where it was supposed to be taken.
I think if he had have thrown it maybe half as far, he might have been some chance to get away with it, but he'd thrown the ball out to the halfway line virtually, hadn't he? So here comes Sousa here. It's right on the paint. And he's able to take the chest mark there, coming out like a centre-half forward. Salmon putting the hands up like he's standing on the mark here. Sorry for the repeat AFL comparisons.
A little bit of goalie wars as well.
Will Philly return the ball again to the other end? Let's see.
He's tried.
Well, they need the flick on here, and it's a good, solid header by Fulton. Left lean, the man who spent some time at the Brisbane Roar, is putting a good shift tonight, put someone out of play, and it's going to be a change up top, and that's the end of the night for Bourgeois, who will be able to put the hands up and applaud the travelling fans here. It's his goal that put them in front from 12 yards, converting past Nick Feely from the spot. And it's a chance for Peter Claassen, the 22-year-old Queenslander from Redlands United, to win a couple of minutes here.
Yeah, good shift from Duarte, not just the penalty, but he's had to work hard with not too many opportunities up top today.
They've been dubbed the cardiac kids, Heidelberg United, but there's no need to cause their fans too many heart palpitations coming from behind tonight. They've just got to hang on here, and they'll be hoping that they don't cause the fans any stress in the process of trying to hold on here. But this ball's in by Tratt. It's well away again. They look really good behind the ball at the moment.
I know you always like to win comfortably, but as a fan, these kind of games, 1-0 down, 2 goals to come in front of a team that you haven't beaten in years, these are the ones you remember.
And as a player too, from that point of view, it really builds something special within the squad, but they've got some more work to do here. Ali. Oh, he's done so well there. He's won the goal kick. Hampson looked favoured to at least get a corner out of that at a minimum.
And what you just said bodes really well for Heidelberg's season as well. We can talk about how the game transpired and how Oakleigh probably had the better of this second half, but the fact that you're getting over this mental hurdle and breaking through that damn wall, it can set you up for the rest of the season.
Some of the Oakleigh fans perhaps looking ahead for the gate, but they've got to navigate or negotiate the players' race, which the gates have now locked on, so they're not going anywhere. Here's McGilp's header. Good to see him back out there in NPL Victoria football after a stint out with injury. See the tape on his left knee. And he's a player that never takes a backward step, that's for sure, despite his more diminutive frame to some of his opponents. Fulton's ball, McGilp's header, looking for the free kick, but it's going to be another Burgers throw. So almost 5 minutes of that at a time is evaporated now. There will be a little bit more for the injury that we saw, and we might see a bit more here because Fulton's copped one here from Djuratovic, and well, it's a yellow ticket for Adam Djuratovic. Fletcher Fulton, who's been converted to a left back under John Anastasiadis, has put in an excellent shift again tonight, and he's well entitled to suck in some deep breaths here and take his time to get back up on his feet.
Yeah, he had a battle at the start of this half with Kasimovic, didn't he? And clearly got to the ball first there. I think that's the correct decision. Djuratovic just coming in a little bit late.
Yeah, he's definitely, at a minimum, honours even after being involved in the goal after it was Kasimovic's cross that was the assist for Guest's goal. But yeah, key involvement in the go-ahead goal from Fulton for the Burgers. Leading this one 2-1. We've played the 5 minutes of added time and a bit more. So we are at Ross Clark's discretion now. Oakleigh need to get the ball back and get it up the park. There might still be one last roll of the dice here. And that injury delay to Souza. Feely not wasting any time. They need to get the flick on here, do the Cannons. Anywhere will do for Collins. Feely sending it forward. Sinclair. Hampson, can he supply a cross here? Goes for the dink straight into the head of Ali and Aidara. They're so close now. Heidelberg United. This is going to be a special win for the fans and the players alike. Number one fan is stripped. He's got the shirt off in front of us as well, Lockie. That's how much it means.
Ready for the celebrations.
Headed by Klaassen, has gone over the temporary fencing, and we have got the construction supervisor in the high vis out there to play ball boy. That's an important role. Don't underestimate that.
I think a little bit of a psych out from the referee, Ross, in the middle, as well as the hand kind of drifted towards the centre circle, but no, just calling for a new ball.
Last roll of the dice here. Boyce has got to keep this ball in play. Dow wins it back. And the Burgers get the famous win. The hoodoo is over against the Cannons. And they go top of the league in NPL Victoria. A 7-game winning streak in the league. 8 in all competitions. John Anastasiadis has got this team playing some excellent football, and they were tested today. It was backs to the wall after Joe Guest had scored on 70 minutes, but they turned it around in some style, and you have to say that they're good value for the 3 points here that takes them to the top of NPL Victoria, Lockie.
Yeah, we talked about this game, in the first half for Oakleigh as being one where they had to capitalise on the moments that they were afforded, and it turns out that same thing applied to Heidelberg in the second half here. They didn't have it clean. It wasn't kind of the pretty goals that they would have liked to have walked off and haven't scored, but they were opportunities, those kind of football invariables. They give you chances when you maybe don't expect them so often, and they were the ones to capitalise, and they walk away with 2 goals in the win and a position on top of NPL Victoria.
Well, it sets it up for a big clash for tomorrow in NPL Victoria, with Avondale hosting South Melbourne at 3 o'clock at Avenger Park, and Dandenong Thunder as well, another team who's got a very vested stake in finals football. They're playing at home at George Andrews to St Albans tomorrow at 7 p.m. on Sunday. Good to have Sunday football this week. Melbourne Knights and Dandenong City. And Monday night football, hasn't that been a fantastic piece of the competition this year? Melbourne victory against Hume City. That should be a belter as well, Lockie.
Can we get another Pushkas Award nomination potentially?
We can only hope. We can only hope. Now, we should go around the grounds just one last time. And you can, flick over to Preston Lions, who currently lead Green Gully 3-1 with around 10 minutes to go. And Port Melbourne are on the verge of getting a crucial 3 points in the six-pointer against the Altona Magic over at JL Murphy. They lead 3-2. But to recap tonight's goal scorers, as Heidelberg come over to applaud the fans, and they receive a rousing ovation from the fans, and so they should. They overcome a valiant Oakleigh Cannons tonight. It was Joe Guest from an Asad Kasumovic cross firing home what looked like a crucial goal that might have been the winner at one point in time, but it only lasted for 4 minutes before we saw the substitute. He'd only been on the park for a matter of moments, and that was Jay McGowan score after Oakleigh had cleared an Asahi Yokokawa shot off the goal line. That was on 70 minutes, and then we saw Max Macedo getting in behind, going down in the box and stepping up to score his 9th of the season. It was none other than Bull Joach. A very confident finish past Nick Feely, and that was the moment that saw the Burgers go top of the live ladder, and right now they are top of the NPL Victoria ladder. We hope you've enjoyed this contest. Locke, it's been a pleasure working alongside you for the first time tonight. Thank you very much.
It's been great, Steve. Thank you.
And thanks to Jordan behind the camera for Sportscast Australia. You've been sensational again here in the grandstand at Jack Edwards Reserve. It's time to sign off on this one. We hope you've enjoyed this one wherever you've been tuning in from. It's been our pleasure to be here to see it live. What a great contest, and there's only going to be more of this as we head towards finals football later in the year, and Heidelberg United are certainly going to be playing a big part in that in 2025. At full time from Jack Edwards Reserve, it's Oakleigh Cannons 1, Heidelberg United 2. Good evening.